again, Attorney Steve Vondra, and welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great week. Got your Monday off to a big start. We are talking in this video about the CDA, Communications Decency Act, okay? So without further ado, let's head to the Attorney Steve Litigation Whiteboard. Okay, we're back. So we're talking about free speech. You know, when I was a kid, we used to have a saying, sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Okay, now that may have been true in the old days. Nowadays, it seems like words are so hurtful. If somebody says something that you don't agree with, oh my God, why are they so stupid? He said, what about this? Oh my gosh, this politician or that politician, that's not true. And everybody's going crazy because we have social media. I didn't have social media back when I was a kid. So now we have social media. Now, there's an old saying, when the internet first came along, okay, years ago, they came out with the CDA law, Communications Decency Act. Now, if you remember if you know anything about newspapers, like basic newspapers, which I have over here, a newspaper publishes a story, or let's say I want to take out an editorial ad, and I post something in the newspaper, maybe the New York Times or the Washington Post, USA Today, and I write a defamatory article about somebody. The newspaper can be held liable. They can be held liable for the defamation. If the newspaper or a magazine writes something that's defamatory, they can be held liable. Why? Because they're editorializing, they're publishing, they're acting as the speaker. Okay, and I have that down here, the publisher or the speaker. Okay, so when you're taking those actions, you can be held liable for false statements of fact, putting people in a false light, different things like that, okay? So this is your traditional, but now, so we know that. So then comes the internet. The internet comes around. So that's still here. That's still here. Internet comes around. Social media platforms, as we call them. Some call them interactive service providers, call them what you will. But they were not acting as publishers or speakers. They were acting as a platform, okay? Come here, come to my website. Here's my makeshift website. You're over here, user-generated content, and you're creating content. You're posting things. You're posting links. You're talking trash. Let's say you're on Twitter talking trash, the trash of the day, showing everybody just how smart and brilliant you are. Or you're on Facebook, bashing somebody, those kinds of things. So you have your user-generated content that's posting to these sites, and they're not going to be held liable. The social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, they're not going to be held liable because can you imagine forcing this company to police every user that it has? Some of these sites have hundreds of millions of users. How are they going to police the accuracy of the sites? And I'm going to read you real quick. You're going to get something out of this video today, whether you like it or not. These are called the 26 words that created the internet. You ever heard that? The 26 words that created the internet. Let me give them to you. And this comes from Section 230. I should put that up there. That's important for you to know. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Whoops. I lost our space. So Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, okay? And the 26 words that created the internet, no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. These are known as the 26 words that created the internet, okay? So they are not liable for the stuff posted by them. They are not the publisher or speaker. Here's the publisher and speaker. You know, maybe you want to go after them if there's something wrong here, but you can't go after them. That's the liability. No liability, okay? So those are known as the 26 words that created the internet. Now the big thing, the soup of the day, we should call it, is fact checking. So now sites like Twitter and Facebook, they're playing a more active role than just sitting here being an online platform, they are fact checking. So I have it down here. Some people say this is only happening because there's an election coming up. They want to fact check anything that, tries to make it a fair deal. Okay, so some people are saying, conservatives are saying, well, they're only fact checking us. They're not fact checking liberals. So there's this big debate that's going on. I don't like to get involved in that debate. But they are fact checking. Now, most people know that these websites are allowed to do community guidelines. So notwithstanding that there are free speech laws, this person may say, I have the First Amendment right. These are private companies. These are private companies. They are not bound by the Constitution. I know that sounds crazy to you. They don't have to follow the First Amendment. Okay? They don't have to give you First Amendment free speech rights on their platform. Okay? They can have community guidelines. And Section 230 also says they have the right to prohibit certain things on their site in good faith, obscene, lewd, lascivious, objectionable, whatever that could be. They have the right to have these community guidelines, even though you may claim that you have First Amendment rights, okay? Again, private platform, no First Amendment rights. You go down and march down the street, First Amendment rights, okay? So we're getting that. But what they're saying now is by creating these fact checks, they are becoming more like an editorial in nature, more like a newspaper. So Trump issued an executive order, which technically they have the force of law. He wants the FTC to look into this. He wants the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, Federal Trade Commission, to look into this and see whether these 230 guidelines should still be applying in this day and age when you have the fact checks. Okay, he doesn't want people to be discriminated against. He's talking about fair hearings. And if they violate their own terms, that maybe they should not have any liability, that they should have liability. Instead of no liability, they should have liability, okay? So these are the things that are coming out. My thing keeps shifting here. I got to extend my microphone a little. But these are the things that we're looking at nowadays, okay? With the CDA, these are the hot terms. You got the 26 words that started the internet. That's your tip for the day. And also bear in mind, some social media platforms like Facebook, is now starting an editorial content board. So they're creating a board of professionals and executives and other people that you can appeal, what they call the Supreme Court of Content, that you can appeal these takedowns and these fact checks and this and that. So that's what's going on. Big topic in the free speech world. That gives you a general legal overview. This is not legal advice. This gives you a general legal overview of the arena, what's going on in the arena. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you need help with the free speech issue, retaining legal counsel, First Amendment cases, social media cases, defamation defenses, those kinds of things, you know where to find us on the web at attorneysteve.com. That's attorneysteve.com, the first name in legal services. So I got to run, busy day today, but this was on my list to get out there to you. A lot of people talking about these fact checks, and just be thinking they may be okay today. They may cause liability issues tomorrow. Okay, and we'll keep you posted on some of I'm going to do a video on the new Facebook board, the Supreme Court board, go over some of the key people that are going to be on the board, so you can decide for yourself if it's going to be a fair Supreme Court, as they call it, Supreme Court of Content. Steve Vondran, I got to run. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. If you don't, give me the thumbs down and say that was the worst I've ever heard. And feel free to share this video on your social media networks. Bye now.